He had his eye on the mouse. He had reholstered his baton and taken out one of his magazines, but now he tossed the magazine on the duty desk and pulled the baton out of its holster again. He began tapping it casually against the knuckles of his left hand. "Son of a bitch," Bill Dodge said. "I've never seen a mouse in here before." "Aw, he's sort of cute," Dean said. "And not afraid at all." "How do you know?" "He was in the other night. Percy saw him, too. Brutal calls him Steamboat Willie." Percy kind of sneered at that, but for the time being said nothing. He was tapping the baton faster now on the back of his hand. "Watch this," Dean said. He came all the way up to the desk before. "I want to see if he'll do it again." It did, skirting wide of the prey on its way, as if it didn't like the way our resident parasite smelled. It checked 2 of the empty cells, even ran up onto one of the bare, unmattressed cots for a sniff, then came back to the Green Mile. And Percy standing there the whole time, tapping and tapping, not talking for a change, wanting to make it sorry for coming back. Wanting to teach it a lesson. "Good thing you guys don't have to put him in Sparky," Bill said, interested in spite of himself. "You'd have a hell of a time getting the clamps and the cap on." Percy said nothing still, but he very slowly gripped the baton between his fingers, the way a man would hold a good cigar. The mouse stopped where it had before, no more than 3 feet from the duty desk, looking up at Dean like a prisoner before the bar. It glanced up at Bill for a moment, then switched its attention back to Dean. Percy had hardly seemed to notice at all. "He's a brave little bastard, I got to give him that," Bill said. He raised his voice a little. "Hey! Hey! Steamboat Willie!" The mouse flinched a little and fluttered its ears, but it didn't run, or even show any signs of wanting to. "Now watch this," Dean said, remembering how Brutal had fed it some of his corned beef sandwich. "I don't know if he'll do it again, but..." He broke off a piece of Ritz cracker and dropped it in front of the mouse. It just looked with its sharp black eyes at the orangey fragment for a second or two, its filament-fine whiskers twitching as it sniffed. Then it reached out, took the cracker in its paws, sat up, and began to eat. Well? I'll be shucked and boiled. Bill exclaimed. Eats as neat as a parson on parish house Saturday night. Looks more like a nigger eating watermelon to me, Percy remarked, but neither guard paid him any mind. Neither did the chief or the prey, for that matter. The mouse finished the cracker but continued to sit, seemingly balanced on the talented coil of its tail, looking up at the giants in blue. "Lemme try," Bill said. He broke off another piece of cracker, leaned over the front of the desk, and dropped it carefully. The mouse sniffed but did not touch. "Ha," Bill said. "Must be full." "Nah," Dean said, "he knows you're a floater, that's all." "Floater, am I? I like that. I'm here almost as much as Harry Terwilliger. Maybe more." "Simmer down, old-timer, simmer down," Dean said, grinning. "But watch and see if I'm not right." He bombed another piece of cracker over the side. Sure enough, the mouse picked that one up and began to eat again, still ignoring Bill Dodge's contribution completely. But before it had done more than take a preliminary nibble or two, Percy threw his baton at it, launching it like a spear. The mouse was a small target, and give the devil his due, it was a wickedly good shot, and might have taken Willie's head clean off, if its reflexes hadn't been as sharp as shards of broken glass. It ducked, yes, just as a human being would have, and dropped the chunk of cracker. The heavy hickory baton passed over its head and spine close enough so its fur ruffled. "That's what Dean said, anyway, and so I pass it on, although I'm not sure I really believe it," then hit the green linoleum and bounced against the bars of an empty cell. The mouse didn't wait to see if it was a mistake. Apparently remembering a pressing engagement elsewhere, it turned and was off down the corridor toward the restraint room in a flash. Percy roared with frustration. He knew how close he had come, and chased after it again. Bill Dodge grabbed at his arm, probably out of simple instinct, but Percy pulled away from him. "Still," Dean said, "it was probably that grab which saved Steamboat Willie's life, and it was still a near thing."